Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. It's Sunday night, probably about 9 o'clock. I wanted to do a video to talk to those out there that are an introvert like me. Let you know you're not by yourself. It's kind of funny. I didn't think I would be doing a video like this, but my mom said when I was a toddler, and she set me down and play with my toys and all of that, that I enjoyed and was much better by myself playing with my toys. I didn't interact with other kids like a normal child would do. I don't know if that's unhealthy or what have you, some people would say. But I got along a lot better that way. Growing up, going through school, I was kind of in and out. I had my little group that I hang with and got along with, and in high school, I went to a lot of the parties with the other students, like trying to be a normal student, And I'd always come close. At that time I had the band thing going on. I was drawn to music, so I was never a athlete, football player, a basketball player. I just didn't have no interest in it, man. Later on, I got into pro wrestling and was athletic with that, but that's an individual thing, not a team thing. But I had friends, that were preps, good friends. I got along with them, and I had the headbanger group. I got along pretty decent with everybody, but you find after a while you do just enough to get along with the group, and but you never quite fit in. You know what I mean? You never to that caliber. I fit in most with the headbangers more than I did the preps or the others. I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm not saying they're bad people, but just for me, it was just I come close, but just not. You ever do things in life or something you always wanted to do, you come close, but you just don't quite, make the grade. That's how I've been with music all my life. I write and sing country music. Used to play in a lot of metal bands and playing guitar. I've got a guitar channel, Blazing Brian's Guitar Instructions. I got to get on there and do some more lessons. I made it in pro wrestling. I finally got to do that, But there again, being an introvert, when the matches were over, everybody go to the club and, party and do it. I didn't. I just went to my room or made the trip back home and found out where the other match would be. I didn't keep the road steady or live on the road like that. I never had an issue with being in solitude, being by myself. A lot of people say that, man, I'll go crazy if I don't have nobody to talk to. It don't bother me, I've got all my dogs, call me crazy or whatever, but it does not bother me. The career I had as a police officer and sheriff's deputy fit me to a T because I was in the car by myself. I didn't have nobody with me. Didn't have to deal with that. I answered my calls. I did my reports, reported to my supervisor. Yeah, we were a team and we worked together when it was called for, but other than that, I got in my car, worked my shift, was by myself. Yeah, you had to interact with the public, but that's to a certain extent. But socially, man, it was so, it got to the point where This thing they call social anxiety. I didn't like to be around no crowds, man. Playing music in front of people, yeah, I could do. But once the show was over, I'd get my stuff and I'm gone. I didn't socialize too much or try to drink too much. It was a job for me playing music. And that's the way it would be today if I still play music, but I hadn't played out in the clubs and bars and stuff. So I play more in church now. And it was even hard for me to get up in church and be social, to that. And it's just, I've always had an issue with that. So, I'm doing a video. So anybody else ever had those issues like that? It's just, to me, being an introvert, man, there's a lot of quirks and the positives to being an introvert. Excuse my French, but you can pick up on bullshit quick, You don't want to go out in a social event because you don't want to put up with 80% of the bullshit when you know only 20% is the truth. Excuse my language. I don't mean to cuss, but you learn to pick up on stuff. When you go in, people that are well-to-do. Here's the thing: you are judged by your status in the community. What do you have? What do you own? What's your education? Are you a doctor? Are you a lawyer? Are you well-to-do? Come up with family with a bunch of money. Never had the want for anything. I come up from poor to middle class. I had 3 brothers and a sister to deal with. At first, I was the only child. Then mom and dad divorced, and then mom remarried, to my stepdad. I miss him every day, but he had 4 children, so I had to intermingle with those. And, we got through school together and got along, but still, back then I got my bike, and we didn't have computer, internet, video games, crap like that. All we had was a bicycle and some matchbox cars to go outside and play with. I'd get on my bike and run the neighborhood, buddy, from sun up to sun down. Dad had to go find us. You remember them days? All you had was 3 channels on the TV, and that was before cable come in. But to this day, I'm that way. I don't have no issue with being by myself. I'm married and got a daughter. Marriage is okay, but still, it affects it a lot where she'll want to go somewhere and I don't. And I used to, in my younger days, man, I'd go out and about and go clubbing and go to the fairs and what have be. But I worked so much of that stuff in my career, working the fairs and the concerts and the parades and had direct traffic. I don't have no desire. Even the football games, I worked so much of them, breaking up fights and mess just at a high school games. Man, I could care less about going to see no game. Or any sport for that matter. I don't even do the wrestling bit anymore. But and I know there's a lot of other folks out there like me. So I try to keep busy. I keep clearing my throat. I apologize. With my YouTube channels and with my music production, writing and singing and hoping maybe somebody pick up a song and I'll get the publishing on it and here we go. So, and I'm retired now. 30 years, that's, once if you're in law enforcement and you retire, man, stay retired, okay? Don't try to get back into it, just stay retired. 30 years is enough, and I was getting ready to get right, and I, for health reasons or whatever. And the reason I say that, everybody goes through stress, but law enforcement and military gives you a different kind of stress. Okay, you get a different kind of stress on that level, and you have a lot of people having heart attacks and all that. And I've already had a heart stent surgery, and I had another one that's 40% blocked. So, guys, if you're into it, man, don't hesitate. Find a cardiologist, man, and go get checked out. You don't never know. I wasn't hurting. I didn't have no issues. I just went. I was on the verge of getting ready to retire, and I said, while I've got the insurance, let me go just get my colon checked, my prostate, and my heart. And I was in the cardiologist, and I was doing the test, and he said, whoa. And I said, what? He said, you got a blockage. And see, I wasn't hurting, wasn't having no pain. I was exercising, working out, doing everything like that. But, it's in your genes. That's why I say, man, I've heard the stories. A lot of people just moving around doing their thing and just fall deceased, massive heart attack could be. Always get checked, man. If you're a man, or a woman, and you're up in age like that, and you find yourself out of breath, go get checked out. I know you say, what does that have to do with an introvert? But it really, being an introvert, you don't have all that stress on you anymore. None of that pressure. Especially when you retire, you come and go when you please. And stay busy when you're retired. Stay busy doing things, man. Things that you enjoy. Don't get back into stress, man. My Lord. But that's why you have a lot of you introverted people are successful as truck drivers, police officers, military people. It don't bother them to be away and to be by themselves, Now, to me, if I had a Winnebago, and of course I'm looking to get one, the one that you can drive, about the size of a bus, man, I'd stay somewhere. I'd probably be at the beach a lot of times fishing. But it don't bother me. It does not bother me. I can load my stuff up and head to the coast right now, stay a few days. But I'm in a position where I can do it, Whereas before, I had a family to take care of and all that. I mean, that's one thing, but still. I didn't do a heck of a lot of socializing, but I don't hate people. I'm not going to say I hate people. But I don't trust a majority of people. You know what I mean? If you understand that. People are people. People can be evil, man. A human is the most evil thing on the planet, if you think about it. I'm not saying that everybody's bad, don't get me wrong. I'm saying I don't trust a lot of people. And that stems from working in law enforcement and, getting backstabbed and blackballed and all that stuff for no reason, just because somebody don't like you. Or in the workplace, wherever you work at, other people don't like you all the time trying to get you in trouble, or, And it's how you look, too. If you're a handsome-looking person, you get by okay. If you're like me, you got beat with the damn stick, you just get along. But I did find out, though, if you work out a lot and you get jacked, people treat you mighty different when you're jacked, man. I figured that. I learned that the hard way when, I got in the gym and people say, boy, are you juicing? I'm like, no. People that hadn't seen me in a while, I got in the gym for a few years and just pushed it. I got a shoulder now giving me trouble. I'm 55, getting ready to turn 56, but I think it's arthritis or bursitis or something. But it's in that darn shoulder, runs up my neck. Like, I think I may have pulled it. I don't. But I work out all the time, so maybe something I did. But yeah, when you're an introvert, you do things different than what a normal person would do. I'm not saying you're crazy or stupid. You do things different, man. You go to a restaurant, you want to sit with your back to the wall. You want to look around. You want to be aware. That's how an introverted person is. You. It's like you got a spidey sense. You can spot danger before it happens, and it is true, man. You really can. You know, when I go shopping, if I go to the Walmart, I park way out in the park. I don't mind walking. Somebody comes up on me, I got some things on me that, you know. But to me, it's far better than sitting over there. Everybody wants to fight over a parking spot right up front. Man, I don't mind walking. I do not mind walking. See, we do things different than what a normal person does. It don't bother me to stand in line at the register, or I get it when I get it. I don't. A lot of people are pushing and shoving, being impatient, and want all these things, man. And yeah, most people they want the nicest things in life. I get that, but an introvert, somebody like me, as long as I got my piece of land and a roof over my head and a vehicle to drive, it's all paid for. I got it paid for. I've had nice big homes, but I sold them. I downsized. People, young people nowadays need to learn how to conserve their dollar while the dollar lasts. And I made a point before I retired to make sure I got everything paid off, plenty of money in the bank, and enough credit to get it to use a credit card in case I ever needed it, if I ever got arrested for whipping somebody's ass or anything else. I got the bail money, so. And that's how you have to do it. And introverts are like that. We're mighty different than what a normal person would be. We don't. I don't sit and dwell on the news, what's happening. Of course, now with the war with Iran, we don't really know what's going on. I don't trust the news media. I don't believe anything they say. So. But we introverts, we can live simple and not bat an eye. Yeah, I could go out there and buy a nice home and a nice speedy car, and I don't have the desire to have that. I got a John boat with a motor on it. I do my fishing with. I ain't got to have a big fancy speedboat or a big fancy bay boat or anything like that. It's something I can handle. It's small enough, but I can handle it, and big enough to get out there in the water and make do. But yeah, simple things, man. And I've got friends that are attorneys and judges, friends that are doctors, very well to do, man, and got a lot. I don't have to have it, man. I really don't. And I'll be that way if I made it in the music business and singing and doing stuff like that. I'd still be the same way. I'd be a simple person. And I go on stage. I don't dress. I wear a t-shirt with the arms cut out like a muscle shirt, my blue jeans and my boots. I'm not wearing fancy jackets and fancy cowboy hats and all that. I'm just me, man. Because that's being original. That's an introvert. What you see is what you get, pretty much, man. I might put my fancy cowboy hat on every once in a while, but I ain't gonna wear it on stage. It's too hot. It's black felt. That thing's hot. I'll wear a ball cap or something, but that's just me. And I've played music all my life. I don't try to be nothing that I'm not. I just go out there and play. You know, everybody say, "Man, you're good, man. You need to do." I don't let it go to my head. I don't, because there's always somebody out there that's better. You know, and you've got to have that frame of mind. There's always somebody. No matter what you do, there's always somebody better. There's no need in, you know, being arrogant, getting the big head and all that. But I tell them, say, "Bo, man, I've been playing music since I was 15 in church, in rock groups and country groups, and played bars and clubs." I said it was just something I did to make money, man. I didn't look at it as, you know. But now I like doing my own stuff, and that's just me. I mean, I don't have no expectations of getting a major record label deal or nothing. I got my own little record label, so. But as far as going major and being a major star, I don't have no expectations of doing that. But you know, you can look at Brian K. Walker music on YouTube, and it'll have all my songs on there. Just check it out. It don't cost you nothing. You can hear every song I got. But it's just something I enjoy doing. And if you like what you see and hear, hit like and subscribe, man. And I just wanted to reach out to all the other people that are introverts like me. Let you know that you're not by yourself. It's tough sometimes, but it don't bother me. It really don't. I hear people say, "I'll go crazy if I don't have somebody. I'm gonna go crazy." I grew up that way, man, and I guess it's something you got to get used to if you grew up around people and got to have people. I understand that point too. But to me, it don't bother me. But y'all have a good one, man. Sayonara.